Okay. Well, this is the Berger Partnership's part of the show, I guess. Just a little summary of what we want to do this evening. Real quick, we want to review the input that we received at the first meeting, go over that quick summary there. Review, and for those of you that are new, it'll be new information about the site observations, so we need to kind of go over that SPU and the lidding and that type of stuff again. Then we're going to go through and present the concepts and the programs associated with those concepts. And then, of course, as Aaron has already said, we're going to do the breakout and and we want to get your input in on two things. One is the concept vision and these three schemes that you're going to see, and we want to get your idea on the concept program. And that's a long list of things to choose from, which you generated last time. So, so jumping right in, what we did is we've summarized this into 8 major categories of programming themes, and these are the ones that came out. First, what we heard. We want the park to be multi-purpose, multi-generational. We want a balance of active and passive uses. We want components of sustainability, and we want educational opportunities to be included in the park. We want to incorporate the natural features, so the context, the site itself is very important. We want to enhance and protect views. We want to preserve the community character. We want to make sure that the park is accessible, so make sure there's lots of points of access and it's equal for all. And then a grand list of general park amenities, and that list, when it was compiled, actually turns out to be about 40 pages worth of notes. So you gave us plenty of input to work with, and so we're going to try to spread that around in a variety of concepts and test you tonight to give us your opinions on what you think works, what you like, what you don't like, and all that good stuff. What we want to do is start off with inspiration, because what we really want to do is make sure that we can include any number of amenities in this park. What we want to do is make sure that we package them in the right way. And we want to make sure the package is something that you like and that it represents Maple Leaf. And so what we did is, oh, sorry, I jumped way ahead. I was getting all excited to get started. Site observations really quick. Go back to this slide. This looked familiar for those of you that were here last time, new to some of you. The lid, which is represented by this black dashed line, is going to take up about 6 or 7 acres of the park, just like that. There's limitations on that lid. We do have the soil cover of 24-inch maximum depth. There are weight limits we need to work with. If we do anything on the lid, they want us to kind of uniformly load it. The access that SPU has to maintain or has to have is to this guy and this guy. There's 3 structures out there that they use to get into the reservoir itself. So we have to maintain that access. And right now they propose it in the way of this gray bar that you see here is probably about a 15-foot driveway to get out to those. There is no pesticide or herbicides allowed within 50 feet of the lid, so if you can imagine an offset just a little bit further outside of this that limits some of the things that we can actually do on top of that lid. And then anything on the lid that would be in the way of fertilizer is restricted, and then we'll have to work with SPU and get the approvals to actually do anything to maintain and enhance plants or plant materials. So a couple other things about this, the site too, of course. There's the water tower up in the corner. All the drawings will be oriented like this. We have the lid subtly marked in the concepts. The existing vegetation on the slope is here. Of course, the 2 ball fields down on the south end, the gatehouse. And then these blue lines indicate just a whole bunch of utility lines that run in those locations. So those are some constraints that we'll be working with. So what we did is we were looking for the inspiration, because what we have to do is what makes this Maple Leaf? What makes this your park? And so these are just some quick slides. This show could take us the whole 2 hours if we wanted to. We just chose a few to show you where we're starting from, to get you thinking about that, and then when it's your turn to provide input in the groups, hopefully you'll think of some of these things. I'm just going to kind of let these run through it. They're just going to kind of cycle through, but some historical photos. So hopefully some of those look familiar to you, and hopefully now you think about things in your neighborhood that are important to you and that you think make Maple Leaf a unique neighborhood. And we can bring those into these concepts, into these designs. So jumping right in, the first concept is waves. And what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of the same thing. We're going to go through some inspirational slides, things that we use to kind of get ourselves excited about it, show it to you, and then we'll get to the concept and I'll run through that. So again, we're just going to look at a few slides here. And this is our first of the three concepts. We call waves, and the inspiration for this, well, it should hit very close to home. Wind, water, and wings. That's a theme that you developed in some of your own meetings. And we decided to carry that through into a concept. And the idea is to be reminiscent of these patterns of waves, of movement, of a leaf blowing in the wind, real soft, real informal patterns. Really try to think about the park as blending this in. The lid is a little hard to find in this concept, and that's intentional that we hide it, but then of course we have to mark it too so everybody knows where it is. But the idea of a concept that really embraces some of the thinking that you've already done. Some of the highlights that are specific to this, and what we have in these concepts is things that are labeled are unique and special to these concepts. And at the end of the three concepts, I'll show you the list of things that can be common to all of these. And there are things that could fit into any one of these schemes, but some of these things are specific to these. So the first is, of course, all the landforms, or these wave or serpentine shaped forms. Those might be vegetation, they might be landforms, they might be planting, but the idea is they help us create rooms, and in particular maybe a gathering space or something like this adjacent to Roosevelt. Maybe it helps us create some little pockets of interest. We start to put new trees in informally along these. We start to highlight them that way, maybe like in some of the images that we showed earlier. The kids' play area is generally in the same spot in this scheme. A lot of comments about kids' play and having something very unique and different, but we want to be near the restroom. So we stuck with that concept, and that's one of the things that seems to work really well with the park.